It's been really flattering to have people ask me if I plan to make any more Calathea videos on YouTube. Or maybe people are like, should I block your content? I'm not sure, but I'm making more Calathea videos. I lost a number of Calatheas from my collection at the end of last year. So I left 2020, it ended with me feeling pretty down. Well, January 2021 rolls around and I want to start the year strong. And I started all right. I find 2 wishlist plants and then a replacement for a wishlist plant that I had lost from a single seller on Etsy. And I was really excited. It took me at least a couple of months just to get everything settled, because right now with everything going on in the world, it's really difficult to just get plants that aren't local. So I did end up having to reach out to the USDA, and shout out to the USDA for helping me get my permit to import these plants within, I think, 4 business days. It was really quick. So I got my permit, they came, they arrived, and then, the trouble happened. Now, I'm definitely not a plant expert, and I'm not a Calathea expert, right? I'm a hobbyist, but I've gotten plants from overseas, and I usually, I would tell you I know what to do with them or how to take care of them. And I took care of these Calathea. They probably wish I hadn't. So the first plant that I pull out is the replacement plant. This is a Vandenheckii. It has, I believe, a couple of rhizomes that it came with, and it's a good looking plant. The second thing that I ordered is maybe the first wish list plant, is a Cynthia. Now, I've never seen a Cynthia for sale in the United States. It's kind of like a Shine Star Mary, and it's something with a really thick white border, except for the Cynthia gets really white at maturity, and then so that's one reason I wanted it. And the silver plate. Now, I've never seen a silver plate for sale in the United States, and of course this did come from overseas. So this is coming from Indonesia. It has a flower, and so far so good. Everything looks really good. So when the plants came in, they did need to be inspected by the USDA. They did that very quickly, and the plants were shipped across the country then to me in California. And so as I'm getting them, of course, part of what happened with these plants, and the reason why I'm filming this video for you, is because if you ever have this happen, I kind of want to show you the process of what occurred. I get these plants. Now, of course, here's the Cynthia. It's 1 rhizome. It does not come with any soil. There's no way that through customs anybody is going to let you move soil, from country to country. It's just almost unheard of. It's really difficult. It's much quicker if the plants are shipped bare root. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot less things to test for them to look at. And so sellers go through this really lengthy process usually of preparing plants to ship. And these plants look great. So I'm getting them into soil. This is a soil that I've prepared through what I've been able to get. I'm still not able to fully mix my own soil, so a lot of what I'm getting is a pre-mixed soil. Usually I amend it then with something for drainage. And what's been the easiest to get is perlite. I've used pumice in the past. Both have worked pretty well. I know some people think that perlite, and it can float up to the top over time. By that time, it's usually time for me to repot anyway when that starts to happen and drainage impacts occur. So here I am just going through doing the second process with the Vandenheckii. Now this had 2 rhizomes, right? So I technically could have potted this into 2 pots and had 2 plants, or a fuller looking plant. Now this isn't a super bushy, full, giant leafed Vandenheckii, right? It's a little bit younger. It's definitely, I wouldn't call it a juvenile plant, but it's definitely got room to get larger over time. And the last thing then that I'm going to do is the silver plate. Now the silver plate came with 3 rhizomes. And so you see, one of the things in hindsight that I want to say is, again, so sellers go through this lengthy process of stripping the roots and preparing the plant to ship, and you get the plant, you have no choice but to pot it. You might have had and heard online, just know from experience, potting a plant that you're just acclimating to your home it can cause it to go into shock. It can cause some adverse effects in the plant. But when you're buying, again, overseas, something's coming to you bare root, you don't have a choice. You really need to get it into soil and get it water as quickly as you can. So that's what I do. I'm looking for air pockets, as soon as I'm watering each and I'm filling those in. and just making sure that I get the plants into soil and I stop fussing with them at that point. Once they are filled in, any air pockets are filled in, they're ready to go. And what ended up happening next, though, with each of these plants is that they died all the way back to the soil. So here's the Cynthia. Lost all of its leaves one by one. They dried up and died. And this occurred over the process of about a month to 2 months. This is what it looks like, I want to say 5 months out. It started to regrow. And remember, it was one rhizome, so one rhizome is only coming back. So this is going to have to completely regrow, but it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. Maybe it's the pot's a little big now, but I'm going to leave it because I don't want to disturb it anymore than it's been disturbed through this whole process. This is the Van and Hecki, completely died back all the way to the soil. So every single leaf eventually fell, dried up, curled. The first couple of leaves that came in when it started to regrow don't have that margin marking, which is interesting, around the outside of the leaf. But the new growth does, and it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. And so only one rhizome has come back, but that's okay. Here's the silver plate. Now, this retained one leaf. It's that leaf you see here in the top right corner that's really beat up. The rest completely died back to the soil surface. So it's regrown all 3 of its rhizomes. And again, this process took about, I would say, 5 months for it to regrow. So keep watering them. If you have a plant that goes into shock that's experienced that, just keep it in mind. And I'm sharing this experience so that you can see what occurs. And if you keep taking care of the plant, you might get some regrowth. And again, here is that 3rd rhizome. It's got 2 leaves now, so it really did come back and it's looking pretty good. So that's where we are. Lovely. See that pink that's on the leaf when they're new leaves? Just gorgeous. Just a beautiful plant. So let's talk about what's next. I lost a lot of plants at the end of 2020, and from then to now, it's really just been giving them what they need and leaving them alone so that they can recover and not be stressed out, basically. They are at a point where I think that now I can start doing more interventions with them and that they can tolerate it and it'll actually be beneficial to them. So I'll probably go through plant by plant with you from now to the end of the year just to assess where the plants are and what it is that I think that they need. Thanks for watching, and I hope that if you're interested, you check out the videos that'll be coming up soon. That said, be well and take care.